Hello everyone, Ghost here, and today I have episode 2 of my top 5 heroes to get you started in Overwatch. Last time we covered offense with Soldier 76, but this time we're going to be talking defense and covering Bastion. Now Bastion has a middle of the road health pool. You're not quite as squishy as somebody like Mercy or Tracer, but you don't have as much health as a tank hero. A third of your total hit points are also made up of armor. Armor reduces incoming damage by 5 for each projectile, so this can really make a difference against weapons that have a fast fire rate but do low damage per shot, like Soldier 76's pulse rifle or Tracer's pulse pistols. However, it is less effective against something like Widowmaker's sniper shots. Bastion's key feature is being able to switch between two configuration modes with his shift ability. In recon mode, he's mobile and carries a submachine gun effective at medium range. Similar to Soldier's pulse rifle, the further away a target gets, the more you will have to burst fire to compensate for the spread increase. Now his second form is Sentry mode, where he transforms himself into a devastating Gatling gun that absolutely wrecks people at short and medium range. The only caveat to that is whilst in this mode, he remains immobile. There is also a weak spot on Bastion's back, visible only whilst in Sentry mode. If you get shot there, you'll take double damage, so beware of flanks from behind. You especially want to watch out for enemy snipers like Widowmaker or Hanzo that can easily peek a corner and snipe you. Like, I know it's tempting, but try not to engage them unless they're within very close range. Immediately change back to recon mode and take cover, because that is a fight you will not win, especially not at longer ranges. If the enemy team is running a sniper class, he will constantly be on the lookout for you, so make sure you change position frequently. It's okay to stay in sentry mode and surprise a group of enemies who walk by, but I rarely use the same position twice. Map knowledge is also going to come in handy here. The more you play Overwatch, you'll quickly figure out some of the choice spots to set up in sentry mode and spring a surprise attack, like I have in this doorway, forcing them into close range where I'm most effective. Other good spots to set up are where you're less visible and have extra cover. Now this is a bit map specific, but one trick you can utilize on the Volskaya Industries is to set up in sentry mode on the moving platforms, turning your Gatling gun into a patrolling cannon of devastation. You can also set up on top of the payload whilst it moves forward, which combos very well with a Reinhardt or Winston barrier in front for protection. So something else to bear in mind is that Bastion reloads his weapon whilst changing form. So I rarely recommend actually reloading his Gatling gun manually in sentry form. It's a good tactic to switch to recon mode and back to sentry to accomplish a number of things. Firstly, to reposition your turret and keep your enemies guessing. Secondly, to reload. And thirdly, to check your back and watch out for enemy flankers like Genji, Tracer or Reaper. But of course there are times where you want to reload as quickly as possible, for example if you have multiple targets in sight. Bastion's other standard ability is self-repair, which you can perform by holding down the E key. This can be used both in sentry mode and recon mode and will quickly regenerate your health and armor. However, you will be immobile whilst repairing and unable to fire. Bastion's repair state also has a pretty obvious visual cue for the enemy in the form of a big yellow circle that spins around him, so bear that in mind. Keep an eye on your hit points and repair up whenever it's safe to do so. And Bastion's last ability, his ultimate, turns you into a devastating tank with 150 extra armor, more mobility, and a huge cannon that dishes out massive damage, but only lasts for 10 seconds. You can move around firing huge cannonballs in an arc. The cannonballs do 190 damage and they have a very large blast radius, so you can pretty much one-shot most stuff except tanks. Now the greatest use for this ultimate ability is really a game changer to get all of the enemies off a certain objective, whether you're on defense or offense, but it can also be used defensively, popping it when you get rushed by some flanker in order to increase your health. So to finish up, here are a couple of tips on some of Bastion's main weaknesses. First and foremost, his mobility. Obviously he can't move at all in sentry mode, and even in recon mode he isn't particularly fast, So if you do die, it's going to take you quite some time to rejoin the fight and get back to the front lines. It also means if a faster offensive hero closes the gap on you, you really have no choice but to go one-on-one, since fleeing is pretty much out of the question for Bastion. Therefore, I'd recommend always staying close to a teammate for support. And finally, be especially wary if playing against Roadhog. His chain hook ability can actually pull you out of Sentry Road and into the middle of a group of enemies with ease. So that about does it for this tutorial on Bastion. I hope you guys found it useful. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave those down below and I'll get back to you. Good luck defending with Bastion, and I'll see you guys next time when we'll be covering Roadhog. Cheers.